All right, we should be live any second. And here we go. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Chris, and this is my channel, Barn on 11970. Good morning, good afternoon, and or good evening, depending on when you're watching this, whether you're watching it live or days or weeks later. I thank you for taking the time to listen to what I have to say. It is currently 1:21 Eastern Standard Time at the PM mark of February, which is February 2nd, 2017, already February, and I'd like to welcome people already coming in, and we're going to talk a little bit about Alex Jones. You may or may not know he was on a podcast last night, on Joe Rogans' podcast that he does, and he scheduled it so it would be podcast number 911, and he did that purposely, which, if you want to make kind of a joke out of it or irony, that's up to you. Now, those of you who've been watching my channel for a while, and by the way, I did post a link to the video in the description, so if you want to watch it, you can. It's almost 4 hours long. Currently has almost 750,000 views in a day, which it must be nice. But I'm going to give my honest opinion. Now, those of you who've been watching my channel for a while know that I am, at best, skeptical about Alex Jones. Somebody that has that much influence, who is still allowed to be on the air, and already my computer wants to freeze, so I guess they don't want me to talk about this subject. They love messing with me. So if I touch the computer at all, it will shut it down. So if it shuts down, it's not my fault. Just want to set that up. Find that interesting when I talk about sensitive things. But I don't trust somebody that can make that much money and doing this for almost 2 decades, if not more, and still, allowed to speak, no problem. And he's actually starting to gain notoriety and fame because mainstream media started talking about him. So I'm always weary about that. Now, with that being said, I did watch 3/4 of the podcast. I haven't watched the whole thing yet. It was late at night when I started watching it last night. Tried to stay up as long as I could until about 6 in the morning. So I'll watch the rest of it later. But I do want to say, in the beginning of the podcast, my views towards him changed a little bit for the positive. He does seem very knowledgeable. I mean, he was spurting out stuff left and right, unscripted. So, I mean, there's a difference between people reading cue cards and people actually memorizing stuff. So I will give credit where credit is due. I was very impressed with his knowledge, basically just speaking from the cuff. At the beginning of the podcast, the first hour, he was talking about things that might have helped people, and it made him a little bit more humanized. Then there were some problems here. Okay, and this is why most people cannot take Alex Jones seriously, and this is what I have a problem with. He's his own worst enemy. Now, for some reason, they decided to add alcohol and marijuana into this podcast. Now, obviously, if you drink and smoke, it's going to affect how you are as you go on in this podcast. Now, a podcast being 4 hours, you're going to notice a transition. And the problem that so many people have about him is he has this gift of being able to communicate. I mean, it's not easy to do a podcast that he does a lot of times, just talking, not interacting with anybody. That's not always easy. His problem is he reminds me of somebody that does major amounts of cocaine, because he's always constantly talking. When he talks, he starts speeding up, and then he starts rambling about 20 different things. And Joe Rogan, on several occasions, had to say, all right, stop, slow down. What did you mean by a certain thing that you said that he was going to just gloss over? So you can't really take him seriously in that aspect, because it got worse. Then he started getting into his typical Alex Jones crazy mode. And the problem is, if somebody like that wants to be taken seriously, he has to take more responsibility, because is he not aware that he's on camera? I'm sure he's very aware of that. And his message is being seen. You don't think the mainstream media is going to be all over this, watching him smoking pot, drinking, going into these outrageous, crazy modes. Like, I mean, I literally, it made me think he had to go to the bathroom several times. And it just, because I used to be, well, I'm still a DJ, but I used to be a lead singer of a band. I know what it's like because I'm not going to say who, but people in my band used to do stuff like that. And people in the crowd used to do stuff like that. I never touch the stuff. I think it's disgusting. It's just, to me, I'd rather save my money for things that are more important, like gold and silver and paying bills. I was never into drugs. I tried pot in college. It made me want to fall asleep, and I'm like, why the heck would I want this stuff? But it made me think. Now, obviously, I'm just guessing and speculating, but it made me think of what do people do when they're in bars or clubs or something where they want to do cocaine? They go into the bathroom. Now, he went into the bathroom several times. And John is saying cannabis isn't that bad. I understand that. You and I understand that. And people in the quote unquote truther community understand that. But the media is not going to make it like, oh, cannabis is good for you. They're going to play this off. And by his actions, they have much amounts of source material. So that's the problem. They twist everything. And I was impressed by the fact that they showed even Fox News taking some of his information out of context. And he showed proof about it. So in the beginning, he was very good about this. But it just seemed like every time he went to the bathroom, he came back more and more wired. Is he doing cocaine? That's just my opinion. I don't know. But I got that vibe. Like, it just, as it progressed, he got more fidgety. He was antsy. He spoke faster and faster. He just smiled for no reasons. And I'll give you an example of how he could just put things to rest. One of the biggest conspiracy theories about Alex Jones is supposedly he's Bill Hicks. Now, if you believe in that or not, that's up to you. I'm not here to judge what you want to think. But Joe Rogan knows about this because they've been supposedly friends for like almost 20 years. And on the podcast, he could have easily just dismissed it. Because Joe Rogan says, listen, there are plenty of what he calls crazy people saying that they think you are Bill Hicks. For the record, look at the camera and say if you are or are not. And he danced around the issue. How easily could he have said, no, I am not Bill Hicks? Now, that doesn't mean he is. He could be playing it. But that's what frustrates people, is his lack of seriousness, where he goes on these crazy tangents. I remember when he did that CNN interview with that British guy. I forget his name because to me he's irrelevant. And then he goes on this crazy tangent. And that's why most people in the mainstream media associate Alex Jones and people who follow him as just crazy people. So is he on drugs? Is he doing it to make us look stupid? That's where I have a problem with him, because he should be taking so much more responsibility for the fact that, like he says, he reaches anywhere from 20 to 40 million homeowners and viewers per week. And he's sitting there drinking whiskey, which is fine, it's not illegal, smoking pot, which where he wasn't illegal, but then just going on these crazy tangents, and you have to watch it to see it. And it doesn't make him look good. And the media is going to eat this up. So my thing is, with him, he's not a stupid man. You could see how he could remember, like, literally different codes to the point where it's subsets and all these numbers. He's not stupid. So I'm very sure he was aware of what he was doing. So it means one of two things. He's legitimately coked up or crazy, or there's a method to his madness. Joe Rogan is an actor. Remember that. They've been friends for a long time. We're never going to know what's inside somebody else's head, because even if somebody says they did something or admits a certain story, does not mean it's the truth. The problem is we just naturally assume that when somebody says they did or said something, that we have to automatically believe them. And unfortunately, in this world, lots of people lie. And when they lie, they tell stories. And there's one big thing about liars, is you have to have a very good memory to be a liar. Because if you're telling the truth, you remember how something happened. When you lie, you have to keep remembering your lie. And that's why over time, sometimes stories change. So whether he's Bill Hicks or not is irrelevant. The fact that he could have easily just looked at the camera and said, "No, you crazy people, I am not Bill Hicks. I might look like him a little bit, but I think it's crazy." He just kind of played it off and turned around and said, "Oh, well, Joe Rogan, are you Bill Hicks?" That's what frustrates people. And that's why I cannot take him seriously. Because like I said, I give credit where credit is due. My job here is to give my honest opinion, not to, I don't like Alex Jones, but that doesn't mean I can't give credit where credit is due. That's where some trolls and my haters can't seem to understand, that they hate me so much that I could say the sky is blue and they'd hate me for it. The idea is to take out your feelings and actually see and do what news reporting is supposed to do, and give an unbiased report of what they see, not what they feel. This generation and these people in this world are all about generation feelings. Alex Jones, in the beginning of that interview, I was pretty impressed. I was pretty shocked about. It made me want to start thinking, wait a minute, maybe I should start listening to him a little bit more, because he seemed a little bit more real. Then after his several bathroom breaks, he got very fidgety. He couldn't keep his headphones on. He kept taking them off, like really quickly and sporadically. Just to me, in my opinion, he seemed like he was on drugs. Now, and I'm not talking about marijuana, because marijuana does not make you fidgety. It does not get you excited. It calms you down. And he just seemed wired to me. That could be his personality, or there could have been something else. Obviously, we'll never know. And even if Joe Rogan knew, he's not going to tell anybody because they're friends. Or maybe he didn't know, because if you go into the bathroom to do a little, snoot, how's anybody going to know? Now, he didn't do the typical sniffing and touching his nose every 5 seconds. That's one of the biggest things from people who use cocaine. But who knows? Maybe it was something else. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe, like I said, maybe that's just naturally the way he is. But my thing is, the mainstream media and the world will never take him seriously. And then he started, even the other panelist that was there, I don't know the third guy, the guy with the tattoos all down his arms. When Alex Jones was saying how he talked to Buzz Aldrin, even the other guy was like, wait, no, that's BS. You're being played. And Alex Jones would not seriously take a conversation and speak to each other. So I don't know what to think, but all I know is I started out more positive with Alex Jones, and the more I watched the podcast, the more I realized why I don't follow Alex Jones. Because even if he tells the truth, even if he knows what he's speaking about, and he's honestly trying to do good, he sabotages himself by what he does. He makes himself seem like some crazy person. And in a way, you can understand that. When you have that much information and you have that many people hating on you, I can see it could turn anybody crazy, get you paranoid, get you frustrated. Because I've had that times where, no matter what I say, there are going to some people that are going to hate me. I mean, that's just, there are some people that are just filled with anger. I actually feel sorry for these people because they spend their life just spreading hate instead of doing things they love. Even on this channel, when people just naturally just automatically thumb down my video before they even watch it, it means they're coming to a place they don't like just to show their hatred. That says a lot about them, and it hurts themselves. But I don't want to get too much off track. I just really think that he just destroys himself. And now there is video evidence of how he acts. And as the podcast progressed, he got crazier and crazier. And I will not be shocked if mainstream media has a field day with this stuff. So it was either just Alex Jones being himself, and that's really who he is, and he can't help it, or this was done on purpose to make all of us look stupid. And if things like Pizzagate, or even just the pedophilia, and we know that goes around, because like they said, there's plenty of things in the beginning of the podcast he talked about that is provable. it's going to put people in jeopardy. I don't know what to say. I would love to hear your opinions if you saw that podcast. And like I said, or in case you didn't hear it because you came on later, in the description, there's a link to the podcast. It's almost 4 hours long. But watch as much as you can and see the transformation, how he starts out fairly normal. I mean, I'm the type, as you could see, I could talk pretty fast. I actually have to slow down my speech to talk where I am right now. And I mean, I'll show you. Because right now, if I wanted to talk fast, it's not a problem. It's just not very easy for most people because it's very hard to think about something spur of the moment and be able to talk about it quickly. But I can do it because it's very easy for me, because when you have a brain processor, you can think very easily. You can come up with things right on the spot. Most people can't do stuff like that. So I literally have to stop and slow down. That's why when I did live podcasts and everything, I would always, not purposely, but I'd interrupt people, because the way my brain thinks is it's like it speeds up. And it's like I have to get that information out. So I can see that a little bit in Alex Jones, that he probably has that same thing, where his brain works on a faster level, to the point where he tries to spew out so much at one time. The problem is he can't control that. You can see how when I talk on my live shows, I talk very slow, to the point, because people need to hear what is being said. Otherwise, it's just noise and gibberish. Because that speedy part that I talked to just a few seconds ago, if I talk like that all the time, you wouldn't be able to focus on what I'm saying. And Alex Jones continually goes from one topic to another in the same sentence, confusing people. And you could see it even with Joe Rogan. He got a little frustrated sometimes. So Alex Jones needs to take this seriously if he's going to do it. If you're going to do something, do it the right way. One thing I've learned about my experience on YouTube is haters are going to hate you no matter what. My comic book channel that I restarted, if you go over there and see it, I average 20 thumbs down on videos that do nothing more than show comic books because they hate me. And I don't do it for those people. I do it for the few that like it. But there are people who are going to hate you, wish you harm, want to hurt you, make fun of you, because they're just evil people sometimes. You can't help that. And I've learned to not let it affect me as much anymore. You know, my first go around on YouTube, I wanted to fight people. And then later on, I wanted to try and defend my honor against people who were lying about me. Now I'm like, I can't control what they do. People are going to believe whatever they're going to believe. So Alex Jones needs to see that if you're going to dedicate your life into what you think you're doing is right, you got to stop worrying about what everybody thinks of you and just move on and do the right thing. And see that sometimes you step on your own foot and you taint what could be messages that can help save lives. Because when he was giving information about the pedophilia, he was very serious about that. And that's when I was starting to think, well, maybe he is sincere. When you get into crazy mode, now all of a sudden you ruin everything. You ever hear the expression, a few apples spoil the tree? So sometimes it's not what you say, it's how you say it. And that's something that Alex Jones is too smart to not realize after almost 20 years of doing this. He was talking about doing things all the way back in the 90s. So over 20 years. He can't be that dumb. That's why I question him. Because is he somebody that's just legitimately crazy or has a drug problem? Or is he purposely doing it to give out some truthful information but sabotage it so the mainstream media can use him as the voice of the quote-unquote awoken people and say, look, this is what the typical Alex Jones fan is. Stay away from him. Go watch CNN and Fox News and all these mainstream media who will lie to you, but they'll wear a suit and talk professionally and gain your trust. Remember, when people want to take advantage of you, they don't let you see it. They have their poker face. They bluff. They smile. They compliment you. They tell you everything that you want to hear. They want to boost up your ego and fulfill your dreams. That's how they gain trust. People have to be very aware of this stuff. The more you research about the mainstream media, the more you research about government, the more you research about the education system, the more you see we've been lied to I mean, look at religion. When you were a kid, you were told to almost worship a priest or the Pope or anyone in religion. And yet they had, do you know, back in around 2011, 2012, they actually shut down the Vatican because, well, not to shut down the Vatican, they shut down the Vatican's credit card ability because they found that they were laundering drug money through the Vatican, through the credit card system. How many people know about that? Because the mainstream media doesn't talk about that. But all of these places that we put our trust in the medical field, in our education, in our information, in our politicians, in our monetary system, we discover it's all a fraud, and they're all connected. And yet we still applaud the next person that goes and takes over. I mean, as much as people want to love Trump, for example, look at how many people that are former Goldman Sachs employees, Goldman Sachs employees, working for the banks. That doesn't send up an alarm? So Alex Jones, he will never listen to my podcast, my live show, because I'm irrelevant. As you can see when I tried to do the petitions, one to take CNN off the air and one to end the Fed, the CNN one, after a week or two, supposedly has only 115 or 120 signatures. The end the Fed still has one. So you're telling me not one person signed it? Go to the comments section and that would state otherwise. So I'm unfortunately irrelevant. Alex Jones, when it comes to alternative news, is one of the biggest ones out there, if not the biggest. And people view him as a joke. And the day I lost respect for him is the day there was a person that I'm subscribed to. His name is Corey C. He lives in Texas. He actually met Alex Jones at a supermarket that they both go to. And Alex Jones did a report on InfoWars showing that, oh, look, this particular store only has non-fluoride toothpaste, and we're winning the war against fluoride. And then Corey showed the exact aisle that Alex Jones was showing on his InfoWars. And then he walked a couple of aisles down to show the regular section of fluoride toothpaste. So there was a different section. So Alex Jones lied, and I wish he would have kept up that video. But I saw it, and I lost respect because Alex Jones was lying to people. Not giving all the information is the same as lying. So yes, there was a section of an aisle in the health food section that was selling all non-fluoride toothpaste. And if he would have just pointed that out, at least he would have said, look, see, they're starting to see that fluoride is not good for you because look at all this non-fluoride toothpaste, even though they still sell the regular poison fluoride toothpaste over on the other aisle. He just pretended that this is all they had. And it was proven wrong. Be careful of the people you idolize, the people you listen to. And ask the question, why are they doing what they're doing? What is their goal? Because you look at me, I don't have millions of viewers. I don't have hundreds of paid sponsors. Yes, I get a couple of dollars here and there for AdSense, but that's just an added bonus. There is no AdSense that influences my speech. You don't see me saying, please make sure you buy whatever products are on the advertisements. They're just random things that have nothing to do with what I speak about. I don't have anybody writing scripts for me. I take this very seriously, especially now more than ever. I enjoy things. Oh, and Corey is here, so it's nice to know you're listening. That video is up. Dude, you post the link to that video in here. I want people to see that. Because I'll tell you something, Corey, that's the day I was really impressed with that video. So he's saying, Corey says, just type in Alex Jones, H1INC. So it's H, the number 1, INC, like incorporated. So it's type in the search engine when you're done, Alex Jones, H1INC. And you will see the proof. And I was very impressed. That, to me, is what the news should be about. It's not having personal feelings. Whether you love Alex Jones or hate Alex Jones is irrelevant. Whether you love the President Trump or hate President Trump is irrelevant. What they do and don't do is what should matter. But in this world of touchy feelings and sensitive people and safe spaces, people base everything on their emotions. Well, I don't like that person. Go to my comic book channel and see my 4 videos that I have up that do nothing but show comic books. And I have people that are thumbing it down because they don't like me. This is what people do in this world. And this is why we are so easily influenced. And this is why I've told people so many times, don't base things on emotion. Because, like I said, I can be like Alex Jones right now and talk this fast, and it's not a problem for me because I can do spur of the moment and think of something without even having to process what I'm about to think about because it's easy to do. And most people would not be able to understand what I'm saying because I'm talking too fast for them to comprehend the words, so they'll just think it's gibberish and not pay attention. Does that help? No, it does not. Just because you can doesn't mean you should. And these people in government, I have been mocked and made fun of and attacked for years, and I've never changed my position since day one. I've warned people that the government is corrupt. I've warned people that the mainstream media is lying to you. I've shown many things. People still make fun of me today about sun gazing. I stopped that in 2012. I'm not blind. And yet that's what people saw because people mock what they don't understand. And yet, even though they can research it and see there are plenty of people that do it, and they actually improve their health, they would rather think that taking medicines that have extreme side effects, that don't cure you, that make plenty of money, that have killed millions of people, that's the sane alternative. But yet, looking at something that's natural in a specific way at a specific time is crazy. I have people to this day that insult me for that. But yet, the 2 years that I did sun gazing, never got sick. When I stopped, I started getting sick again. My eyesight is still 20/20. When I had to renew my license, they made me read the chart, the little eye chart. When they said, read this line, I said, here, I'll just read the bottom one. Make it easier for you. People mock what they don't understand. So when Alex Jones is out there trying to speak quote-unquote truth, and he seems to know what he's talking about, and he has a lot of contacts, he sabotages it with the way he acts. And lying about stuff is not the way to get information out. And I want people to watch this video. And Corey, I'm glad you're actually watching this, so thank you for posting that. If news would actually report things like that, this world would be a much better place. Now, I don't know if Corey likes or hates Alex Jones, but it was irrelevant to what he was reporting, and that was the truth. And we need more people like that. The problem is, because people in this world base things on feelings, they will omit the truth if it goes against the person or people or cause that they believe in. And that is why it is so easy to manipulate people. Because they know if you like somebody, they can do no wrong. And if you hate somebody, you can do no right. Like, for example, one of my moronic trolls made a video about me the other day on this channel, clearly showing he doesn't watch my videos, because he made a stupid video talking about how I supposedly am okay with Trump being president. When if you actually watch my videos, and people can attest this, I say on several occasions not to trust Trump or anybody that's president of a corporation. But yet, because the person has this hatred towards me, they are blind to the information. So Alex Jones is either purposely sabotaging to make sure people won't pay attention and listen mainstream-wise, or he just has no ability to control himself. Which, if that's the case, he shouldn't be doing it. Because if you cause more harm than good, then you shouldn't do something. And that's my opinion. So let me know what you think about this. I started gaining a little bit more respect for Alex Jones, and then after about an hour into the podcast, hour and a half into the podcast, I realized why I don't watch him, why I don't trust him. Because even if he's giving good information, he sabotages it, either purposely or that's just who he is. Either way is not helping the cause, not helping the truth. So if he's giving information that could save the lives of children who are being abducted, raped, and murdered, and no one will take him seriously, then guess what? More children will be kidnapped, raped, and murdered. So is he really helping if no one takes him seriously? So he's either, like Lynn says, he's either doing it on purpose, or that's just who he is. Either way is not helping the cause. And that's why I will not listen to him. I gave him the benefit of the doubt. I don't like Alex Jones, but unlike the trolls and people who base everything on emotion, I give people the chance. Because I like to say it, even Hitler, I'm sure at one point was nice. I mean, he did own a dog. He didn't beat the dog on a regular basis. I'm sure at one point he laughed and smiled. I'm sure while he was being evil, he wasn't evil 100% of the time. And the same thing goes for somebody that did good. I guarantee you they probably did some bad things in their life. But history doesn't want to make sure about that. They want you to put certain people up on a pedestal and they can do no wrong. Well, if you're human, you can do wrong. I've lied in my lifetime. So have you. I've done things I'm not proud of. So have you. That's what makes us human. The idea is if you make a mistake and you have integrity and honesty, you try your best to never do it again or make amends for it. It's the ones that keep doing the same thing over and over again are the ones that you can't help. My haters hate me for years. No matter what I say, they think I'm some shill that gets paid to do this. Trust me, I wish I got paid to do this in large forms. Trust me. I'm going to make about $165 this month in ads revenue for being hated on, for being attacked and insulted, for being, people saying things about me that are not true. And because people say it, they just believe it without even knowing me. Not one person here has ever physically met me and knows me as a person. And they base it on the fact that they don't like what I say or what I believe. Those people are the ones that have the mental issues. I've just learned to not let it affect me. I can talk about it. And notice I still have the same tone as when I speak about everything else, because I do my best to take emotion out of the equation as much as possible. You learn. That's why I'm not wanting to go fight people anymore. Because you're supposed to grow. You're supposed to learn from your mistakes. That's why I've always said mistakes are a good thing if you can learn from them. So Peacemaker is asking me, what do you think Alex Jones is? I can't answer that question. All I can say is I can only base it on what I see. He's been caught lying. I see several videos where he's gone to protests and he outshouts people who are trying to do good and takes over things. He's got an ego. He makes a lot of money. He's been doing this for over 20 years and not one assassination attempt. He's got connections in Hollywood. I don't know, but I don't think he's 100% genuine. And that's my opinion. I could be absolutely wrong. But if somebody said to me, oh, everybody thinks you're Bill Hicks, and somebody finally said, listen, for the record, just to get it out there so you don't have to worry about it, you could put it to rest. Are you Bill Hicks? I would have said no. But he didn't do that. He danced around it and never specifically said it. He made a joke of it. That's like somebody going to an undercover cop and you say, oh, are you a cop? And instead of them saying, yes, I'm a cop, or no, I'm not a cop, they'll say, oh, well, are you a cop? Transferring it. So I still don't trust Alex Jones. I am not going to watch him. I am going to find out stuff for myself. One of the things I like about Alex Jones is sometimes I can learn some information when I hear things that the people say about him. And I get that information and look into it. His personality and the way he acts taints his message. Because just imagine if the local news did what he does and acts the way he acts when he goes on his crazy tangents, thinking it's funny because he needs entertainment. That's why most people don't flock to videos like mine, because they're not entertaining. I'm not making it so I'm acting like a crazy person to get your attention and oh, look, because people love drama. They say they don't love drama. Like I said, go to my comic book channel. I have 4 videos or 5 videos up have an average of 40 20 to 40 thumbs down when all I'm doing is talking about comics. And people say they don't love drama. People do love drama. So that's why people, like, you see all these fake people on YouTube. They put on these facades. They pretend to be something they're not. Well, ladies and gentlemen, if you watch my videos from day one till now, you'll see I'm the same person. I've changed and matured. I've learned from my mistakes, but I still have the same principles and the same beliefs I have since day one. You don't see me putting on a show to get your attention. That's why you're seeing nothing but one image on the screen. And I don't even show myself. You know why? Because I am not important. The message is important. So many people on YouTube are like, look at me. That's what this is. This is Generation Me. Everybody's got to take their selfies. Everybody's got to be important. Everybody's got to be, you got to look at me. No, what do I say? Research for yourself. Question things. I don't show my face, one, because I can do this in a bathrobe if I want to, and it's a lot easier just to speak. But to me, my face is not important. What does it have to do with my message? I don't need to be famous. I'm not doing this for fame. If I wanted to do this for fame, I sure as hell wouldn't be talking about stuff that people have threatened me over. I do it because it's the right thing, and people are so afraid of that. And then people like Alex Jones, who may have a real message and may actually save lives, takes it as a joke. Actions speak louder than words. You can listen to anybody, but if you worship them to the point where they can do no wrong, guess what? You've been programmed. I want you to question me. I don't want you to insult me. You can question me, but you don't have to insult me. You don't have to make fun of me. You don't have to hate me. You can disagree. It's okay. My feelings don't get hurt if you disagree. If you say, listen, I just want to let you know that I listened to what you said and I don't really agree with it, but I appreciate your opinion, your perspective. Here's mine. Then we could grow. But no, people have to say, oh, he said one thing that wasn't right. I hate him, and I'm going to hate him forever. Or you're going to go to somebody else's channel and say, you know what? They're so friendly. They're so nice. I'm going to believe every word they say. I know some people, and I'm not going to point out any names, that make videos that are very friendly people when the camera's on. And when they're off camera, yeah, the people you think are your friends, they're definitely not. And they'll use you to get views on their channel. That's why I don't do live shows with other guests anymore. And I won't be doing it on my other channel, despite what some may think. Nobody's getting a front row seat with me anymore. And you learn your lessons, and that's what mistakes are all about. That's what pain is supposed to be about. It's supposed to be pointing it out so you learn from it. Like they say, if you don't research history, you're doomed to repeat it. That goes for yourself as well. So whether you like me or hate me, at least you could see I'm consistent. And I'm not here to say, look at me. I'm the most important snowflake in the world. No, I'm saying, here's my message, here's my thoughts, here's my opinions, here's my point of view. You can resonate with it or not, but at least I'm giving you all different perspectives and not just one that is written down for me that somebody hands me a paycheck to say. And those are the people we worship. To me, the message is what's important, not my face. And that's why I always found it funny when some dude would say, oh, I saw your image and you're losing your hair or you're ugly or something. It's like, do you really think I care about what some guy thinks about what I physically look like to them? Oh no, some guy doesn't like what I look like. Okay. You really insulted me and hurt my feelings. The only person I care about that likes what I look like is my wife. So she gets to see me every day, and she actually appreciates seeing me every day. And I appreciate seeing her every day. That's all that matters to me. But what also matters to me is sending out a message that you should think for yourself, that you should question people, that you should not just follow anyone blindly just because you like something that they've done or who they are. Because let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen, Satan will always come at you as a friend to steal from you easily. And that's why they say, keep your friends close and your enemies closer. And that's all I have to say about that, said Forrest Gump. Comment if you want. Subscribe if you like what I have to say. Thumb it up if you agreed. Thumb it down if you feel like that is your achievement for the day. If that's what makes you proud, hit that thumb button, because I know the ones that do it never even listen to what I have to say. I feel sorry for those people. That's got to be a sad life to live in such anger that, like my troll that made the video, and I won't even give him credit by mentioning his name, but he knows who he is. He's a sad little truck driver that's nothing but angry. What a sad life he must have, that for 5 years now he still talks about me in an obsessive way. And he's proven that he actually doesn't listen to what I have to say, because his video tells you that. Anybody here that follows my videos, you tell me what I think about Trump. He's better than Hillary, but he's definitely not Jesus Christ. He's not going to be your savior. He's working for a corporation. I don't trust Alex Jones now, even more, because I think he's putting on a show. Tell a little bit of good information to attract the flies. You know, you attract more flies with honey, or you attract more bees with honey, or whatever. And the way he insults, the way he goes crazy, the way he goes on his tangents, they have a field day of saying, look, this is the typical Alex Jones follower. People are all about, look at me. Can I be crazier? Can I be more outlandish? Can I be wild? I need your attention. Insecurity proves that why people do what they do. I don't need the attention. I don't need to be seen. I want my message to be heard by people who care enough to listen to it. And even then, you don't have to agree with it. And if you hate me because I have the right to have my freedom of choice of what I think about, then you're a person that wants some kind of fascist or communist society or a dictatorship that tells you how to think and how to feel. Because so many people are such hypocrites walking around saying they want unity and they want peace and togetherness. Unless you don't agree with them, then they destroy your property. Then they attack you verbally. Then they will never listen to you and have an actual debate. They will just scream over you going, la, 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 I can't hear you. I'm going to insult you until you shut up and walk away. That's not winning an argument. That's being an idiot. Be careful what you wish for, ladies and gentlemen, because you are going to get it. And those of us who actually have a cause, those of us who do have integrity, and at least try to have integrity, those of us who want to do right, if you sit there and you're silent because you're afraid of being judged, you are not helping make the world a better place. Because remember, ladies and gentlemen, it's not always what you do. Sometimes it's what you don't do that can affect the world or change the world, good or bad. If you're going to live in fear, is it any wonder why there's nothing but fear around us? And let me tell you something about Corey. We fought on several occasions. There were times I did not like him. He knows that. We talked on the phone a couple of times. And especially in the beginning when I didn't understand, when he was just making fun of me because it was fun, or whether he was making fun of me, didn't like me. I mean, I don't know. That's his thing. But you notice how, even though him and I have had disagreements in our lifetime, and if you watch my original channel, Barn on 11967, you could see there was a little tension, because back then I didn't know any better, because in my reality of my world, nobody hates me. I've never had a problem with anybody in the world. The last time I got into a physical fight, I was 10 years old. But on the internet, you get all these people that will just clearly on a daily basis tell you how much they don't like you. So I was not used to that. But yet, I gave him credit where credit was due about a video that was very important in exposing somebody from being a liar. So I can take the emotional part out of it and actually focus on the message. Why can't other people do that? Are people just really look at themselves with an ego that they think they're that important? It's sad, it's disappointing, and it goes against anybody that has any sort of religion in them. So I find one of my bigger trolls that I wanted to fight back in 2012 actually believes in Jesus, and he talks about his religion, and yet he does nothing that represents the very thing he supposedly believes in. You can't buy your way into heaven with sarcasm and lies, even if you lie to yourself to the point where you believe it. You reap what you sow. So try and do the right thing, and that even goes for Alex Jones. Either straighten up and become more serious so people can actually listen to you, or get out of the game. And that's my opinion. Let's hear what you think about it. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Don't forget to have your trolls spayed or neutered. Peace.